Good morning, Enimwa. Good morning, Malik.
Good morning. Good morning.
And how are we doing this morning?
Good.
Awesome.
Yourself?
I am blessed myself. And yesterday began Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Yep.
Very, very important that women remember to, keep these very, very useful tips that would enable them keep their breasts healthy.
Yeah.
And we on the Super Morning Show will be with you every step of the way. And so stay with us as we bring you breast healthness awareness tips on the show. But guys, let's begin with the front pages.
Yes, let's start with the Chronicle newspaper. Abu Dhabi Jabs NDC, they are only using Voltarians as voting machines. Also on the front page of the Chronicle newspaper, Ghana's economy began now valued at 256.6 billion as Ghana's Statistical Service rebases economy second time in 10 years. Farmers reject cocoa producer price and job offers on social media as scam. Esla, as communications minister.
On the front page of the Today newspaper, Resource Amidu now, GII charges the president, open defecation stores in schools, and reviewing free SHS policy, Mahama replies Akufo-Addo.
The Daily Guide newspaper, so many headlines on the front page of the Daily Guide newspaper. Driver defiles girl, 3. Groom dies in gory crash, bride in coma. Bawumia launches cybersecurity initiative. Kojo Bonsu dams Mahama joins NDC race. 22 students arrested over riots. Those are the stories on the front page of the Daily Guide newspaper.
On the front page of the Daily Statesman, Melania Trump arrives today. Mahama spends $270 million to build terminal with no drainage, and Mahama is confused over the 2016 defeat.
The New Crusading Guide newspaper, drama at La Palm as workers protest CEO's attempt to clear mess, make hotel world-class tourist destination. Adekoka fights Kojo Bonsu over NDC flag bearer ship raise. Cocoa Board maintains producer price at 7,600 cedis per ton.
The Business and Financial Times is reporting UT Capital Bank collapse. 5 dockets sent to the Attorney General's office. Informal sector's contribution to the economy hit 73 million Ghana cedis, which is 28.6% of our GDP. And education could be one of our main exports. That's according to the president of Academic City.
Ghanaian Times. Chief, 5 others arrested for breaching ban on celebration of Kundum Festival. Also on the front page of the Ghanaian Times, the Cocoa Board story I reviewed is here. VIP launching. This was the back page of the Ghanaian Times newspaper. Outbreak of diseases looms at Bone Landfill area. Those are the stories here.
On the back page of the Daily Graphic, 230,000 acre land cultivated in the Upper West region under planting for food and jobs. And on the front page, Mr. Ishmael Yamson has been speaking, and he says we have strong local banks.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, and that's it for the front pages. Thanks, guys. Let's go into the details. And anymore, we are having a special visitor.
Yes, so the First Lady of the United States, Mrs. Melania Trump, she's arriving in Ghana today, and you know that she's doing a 4-nation African tour to promote her child welfare agenda. If you've heard about it, it's called the Be Best initiative, and what it does is to combat some of the critical issues that children are facing today. She says she's pretty excited about coming. She said that when the UN Assembly met last Wednesday, she said about Mrs. Rebecca Akufo-Addo that she's very thankful to her for all her support and is looking forward to visiting Ghana and the other African nations as well. So we have her today and tomorrow pretty much.
Welcome, Melania Trump. But before we do anything else, guys, who killed the judges?
That's a very, very important question that will be answered on our special assignment done by our own Raymond Aqua.
Yeah, and Raymond
swims in Aqua.
Raymond will be joining us later on the show as we talk about this a bit further. But before we do anything else, listen to this.
If their souls could speak, they would tell of a good story. A story that will keep mouths quivering. A story that will be the unending truth on the tongues of future generations. a story that will bring their children peace, a story that will be history, but this untold story is left behind. Justice Kojo Ejepon, Justice Frederick Poku Sarkodie, Justice Cecilia Afran Kranting Ado, who killed the judges.
And that will be airing tonight on the Joy News channel on Multi TV. It will also be live here on Joy 99.7 FM and on Joy Prime.
It will be streamed
as
on
well.
My Joy Online.
Streamed on My Joy Online, our
Absolutely.
Facebook page, everything. Everywhere that you consume content from
We are locking
Joy.
this country down.
Yes, from 8:30 p.m. You don't want to miss it. You can answer the question yourself after you watch that. Who killed the judges? But let's go into politics now, Malik.
Yes, so Dan Abodakpi is reported to have jabbed the NDC. We know that Dan Abodakpi is vying for the chairmanship, the national chairmanship of the NDC. And he is complaining that the NDC, the main opposition party, appears to be using the Volta region, where he comes from, as a voting machine. And he says that the region has done tremendously well for the NDC, but every time after election, the region is neglected. And to put in perspective, let's look at how the NDC has performed in the Volta region over the last 4 or 5 elections. In the 1996 election, President Rawlings had 94.5% of total votes cast in the Volta region. That's just about 9.5 votes out of every 10 votes. That's how well former President Rawlings performed. In 2000, John Atta Mills had 86% in the first round, and in the runoff, he had 89% of total votes cast in that region. 2004, that fell down to 84%. 2008 fell down to 82%. 2012, 85%, and so on. So the NDC's performance in the Volta region has been spectacular. Dan Abodakpi's complaint is that in spite of this strong backing by the region for the party, consistently, the region feels that they are neglected anytime after elections, and he thinks that that's something that must change. But his worry goes beyond just the Volta region. He says that the working class used to be another, they formed the core of the base of the NDC. That again, he said, has changed because many of the working class no longer, in his view, support the NDC, and he thinks that that should worry the party. He believes that the NDC used to carry along the workforce of this country, including farmers, fishermen, traders, and all categories of workers. Unfortunately, that has changed. He's asking the question, what has gone wrong? He says that which has gone wrong has to be corrected, and he, as national chairman, when he is voted, or if he is voted, he will work to change that. But let's stay with NDC politics, and we are talking Kojo Bonsu. The Daily Guide is reporting that Kojo Bonsu has dumped former President Mahama and has thrown himself into the NDC race, being number 11 or number 12, depending on who you are counting in or out, as the persons who have declared their intention to run for the leadership of the NDC going into the 2020 elections. The Daily Guide is reporting that Kojo Bonsu did this because he feels neglected by former President Mahama's camp. You remember that Kojo Bonsu was the one who spearheaded all of the unity walks. All of these unity walks were reported to have been geared towards whipping up interest in the Mahama comeback bid. And you heard some of the aspirants,
Alvin Bagbin,
Sylvester Mensah, all of them complaining that these events, Spio Gabra, all of them, that these walks were just meant for just one person.
At a point, Mr. Bagbin alleged that other candidates were prevented from addressing the gatherings at these unity walks.
Absolutely. Now, the man who spearheaded this, and which was done to further the ambitions and the interests and the desires and the comeback bid of the former president, is himself now throwing himself into the race. And there are those who believe that this is contrived, that he's doing this and last minute he will pull out and back former President Mahama. The Daily Guide is reporting that no, that can't be, because the man is peeved. He had been promised, and promised in code, he had been promised by the former president that if he is elected as flag bearer, he will pick him, Kojo Bonsu, former mayor of the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly, as running mate. But the Daily Guide says, now former President Mahama has had a meeting with Prosper Bani, former Chief of Staff, former Interior Minister, to become his running mate if he is elected. And there was a meeting which happened in the Volta region somewhere. And then this was on Tuesday, 25th September, where this meeting happened. And they called it the Pando Declaration because the meeting happened at Prophet Bani's home in Pando, the Pando Declaration, where party bigwigs and party regional executive were present, where this declaration was made that Prosper Bani will be the running mate if he's elected. And that's what has peeved Kojo Bonsu, making him to throw himself into the race. But I'm wondering, does Kojo Bonsu stand any chance? Even if he's bypassed for the flag bearer, it would not be better for him to stay in the hope that if the former president wins again, he will still be in his good books. He may get something.
But there are other candidates, unless, of course, we are going by what has been said and looking at the fact that John Mahama seems like the foremost candidate now going into the flag bearer race. And yeah, yes. But it will be interesting to see what coming days reveal. Will it not, Malik? Anyway, let's move away from that and talk education.
So the Agogo State Senior High School, and Malik was telling me about it this morning, in the Asante Achim North District has been closed for 5 days. So what happened is that they've been having electricity problems, and that has affected their water supply as well. The newspaper is reporting that sometimes they don't have electricity or water for 5 days at a stretch, and the children or the students have been pretty agitated about that. And so they went on a rampage. They destroyed property in the school, parts of the ICT lab, the air conditioners, and also some personal property of some of the teachers. And so the GES decided to shut down the school for 5 days until Saturday. The GES is saying that the reason why the school has been shut is so that they can fix the things that have been destroyed. But the spokesperson also said that the students would be surcharged with the full cost of all items that were destroyed. Now, it's interesting that this is the third school in the Ashanti region this year that has staged a violent demonstration about something that's going on in their schools.
Interesting.
Very interesting, Malik.
Yeah, and this is Nasa Kwaba School, Nasa Kwaba of Maja Online. That's
okay. Good morning, Na.
And yesterday, Nathan had a good laugh at her.
Unfortunate. I don't think the only story about Agogo State SHS is the demonstration.
Well, the educational authorities say if you have little, you don't destroy it.
Exactly. But now don't mind it. Okay. Go ahead, Malik.
So then I'm going to do two joint stories. Unfortunately, both of them have to do with defilement. The first one is a welder who is sentenced to 15 years for defiling a 10-year-old girl. This is the Accra Circuit Court sentencing a 30-year-old welder to 15 years imprisonment in absentia for defiling a 10-year-old girl at Lakeside Estate at Adenta in Accra. And this is a 10-year-old, this is a 30-year-old man. Defiled this person, absconded, has been sentenced in absentia. Now, related to this is even a more harrowing one. In this case, a driver. And this driver is 40, and he defiled a girl at Dansoman here, 3-year-old girl. Defiled this girl because they live in the same house, and at 11 p.m. they found out that the girl was not in her auntie's room whom she's living with, and later when they found the girl, they noticed that this girl had been abused, and when they asked her, she mentioned this 40-year-old driver's name. And this is Emmanuel Chi, that's the name of the driver. And he's a co-tenant with the victim's aunt where this incident happened at Dansoman in Accra here. And this is just 23rd September 2018. And of course, the matter has been reported, according to Chief Inspector Kofi Atimbire, that when they found out that this girl had been abused, they issued a medical report, and the medical examination indicated that the victim was sexually assaulted and her hymen broken.
How's the victim doing now?
Well, the victim is still being attended to by medical authorities, by hospital, and the 40-year-old driver has been remanded, and he's to reappear later. This is on October 11th for trial. That'll be next week.
I wish I could give that 3-year-old a big hug.
Yeah,
I think
yes.
if anyone and the 10-year-old at Adenta as well. If anyone is close to them, I think one of the most important things that
show them love.
Yeah, at least show them that there are good men
around
in the world. I won't call myself one of them, but at least try and show love in a certain way. Anyway, I can't. Anyway, anyone, let's move on, please.
Okay, so we're moving on to Lekma, and this is your area, Malik.
Yes, that's my area. That's my area.
Would you just like to do the story?
Have done stories about the poor nature of the roads. I remember on one occasion we did stories that indicated that pregnant women were losing their babies because they have to go to the Lekma hospital and they have to use this bad road, and yet absolutely nothing. In the course of the last election 2016, they brought contractors who pretended to be doing some work. Immediately the voting was done, they packed their equipment and vamoosed. And the roads are in a terrible shape.
Thank you, Malik, for
that's the story, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, thanks guys for bringing us the stories from the newspapers and also this morning. Let's go online. And the online news review is brought to you by Zenith Bank. In your best interest, GOIL Good Energy. And download the Safe Doctor app now from Google Play. Safe Doctor, the future of better medical care. Now, GOIL, your trusted #1 and biggest indigenous oil marketing company, says Ayiko to our numerous customers. Your loyalty to the GOIL brand has again been rewarded. For the third consecutive year, GOIL is the CIMG Petroleum Company of the Year 2017. We dedicate this award to you, our valuable customers, for staying with us through thick and thin. Continue to buy from any of our 300 plus service stations for quality fuel and lubricants. Buy GOIL, let's support our economy. GOIL, good energy. GOIL, Yenara Yedia. And my brother Jerry Ajololo would also like me to acknowledge, I'm sure, that the host for the CIMG Awards, the MCOs, is an ardent listener of Joy FM and the Super Morning Show. Good morning, Jerry Ajololo. Thanks for doing the listening.
Great guy.
Of course, he's such a great guy. Now, Zenith Bank has obtained the ISO 27001 and PCI DSS certifications. More than ever before, customers of Zenith Bank can be assured of the confidentiality of the information as well as security of our systems, processes, and procedures. So go on, make that move to Zenith Bank today. Open an account with us and sign up for our array of MasterCard and Visa cards. Banking with Zenith Bank is easy, convenient, and secure. Zenith Bank, in your best interest. Now, technology keeps advancing, and thus advertising must change to fit this and ensure that products stand out. The answer to this is Quick Advertiser newspaper, well designed to add value to the 21st century advertising techniques in Ghana and beyond. We create brilliant ideas that work in all forms without geographical limits. Convenience is our hallmark because we understand your business. This is why we ensure that no matter where you are on the planet, you can place your advert and we take you and your product anywhere and everywhere you want. Quick Advertiser, quick advertising made easy. Call or WhatsApp 026 170 1321 or visit quickadvertiser.com for more information. That's KWIKADVERTIZER.com. For more information, let's go online. My Joy Online says Majority Leader unhappy with MPs over purchase of subsidized tractors. Interesting one there. Say Chairman Sabonsu speaking that you want to go on My Joy Online, get the details of that one. Rebasing economy means nothing. Cedi still weak. Ken Thompson, remember what he said, the value of the cedi in my pocket. That is his measure of the strength of the cedi. Speaking there at the Joy FM Cedi Forum. Now, AdomOnline.com says, has an audio of a man who beat his wife to pulp for allegedly cheating on him. Ajwa Jigbodi, 30-year-old, very, very sorry for what your husband, Kweku Ansah, has done to you. Kweku, learn to forgive, it will help you. We want to make way for the BBC News at 7 now. Coming up shortly after this. Stay with us. This is the Super Morning Show.
It's a plus in green irrigation